Hello! It's been a minute. It's been a while, but we're back. Are we back? I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided yet. But we're here today, so let's take it day by day. I guess this is me soft relaunching my second channel, so welcome back. If you don't remember me, I don't blame you. I'm Jesse from the YouTube channel Jesse the Reader. This is my second channel. On this channel, I'm going to be posting chill, laid-back videos, maybe TBRs, maybe book hauls, maybe book reviews, maybe reading wrap-ups. Lots of maybes going on here. I've been feeling a lot of pressure lately on my main channel, even though I'm a flop tuber. I still feel like there's a lot of eyeballs on that channel, and sometimes it's just a lot. Sometimes it's overwhelming. So I want this just to be my little safe space where I can just hop on here, be chill, and just like hang out. Mind you, I'm still gonna edit like crazy because like that's just in my nature, but we're mostly gonna be chill over here. How many times am I gonna say chill? Too many times. Today I'm gonna be going over my March TBR, talking about all the books that I want to read this month. I've already read 3 books. Catch me out here reading my butt off as if I have a butt to read off. Hi, I'm the president of the Flat Butt Club. Why are we talking about butts? First up, I finished reading Till the Last Beat of My Heart. It was an emotional roller coaster, to say the least. It's about a boy whose childhood best friend ends up dying, and he has all these regrets surrounding their relationship. But then his best friend ends up coming back to life through necromancy, and he's like, oop, I've got all these regrets. Am I going to live with them, or am I going to confront them? I ended up giving this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, but I felt like the story beats were a little bit off, and then the pacing was also a little bit on the slower side of things, and I just needed things to kind of pick up a little bit. I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe. This is the sequel to the first book, Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It's about a cafe where you're able to go back into the past, and so we're following all these different characters with different situations, different backgrounds, and seeing the different reasons as to why they're going into the past. And I just really love this series. I know it's not for everybody. I know a lot of people see it as overhyped, but I personally really connect with it. It's got a lot of heart to it. My one complaint is the fact that like I wish there was like a lighter story here and there, because it pretty much maintains this like heavy feeling the whole way through. In this one, we get a lot of lore for characters that were introduced in the first book, and I love seeing characters get blasted. Not like pew pew blasted, but like exposed blasted. I like seeing their innards. I'm not making this any better for myself. I like learning more about the characters and learning about their lore, because especially the character lore that we got in this one was so fascinating and just like added so much to a specific character. The character in question is Kazoo. She is the character that pours the coffee for all the customers who are going back into the past, and I feel like it just really shaped out her character, and I love her so much more now. I ended up giving this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really solid. Then I recently read and fell in love with this graphic novel called Off Menu. It's like a cozy fantasy about this girl who's going up against this big bad guy in a bake-off situation. It's so cozy and cute and comforting, and I desperately need more graphic novels like this. So if you have any graphic novel recommendations that match the fantasy, cute, cozy, comforting vibe, drop a recommendation for me down below in the comments. I need to return this to the library now so that somebody else can fall deeply in love with it. Now for the books that I'm planning to read for the rest of the month of March. First up, I need to get caught up on Schwabathon. Schwabathon is a V.E. Schwab readathon that I am doing with my channel members. It's a year-long readathon. I was supposed to read 2 books for it in February and only ended up reading 1, and that was The Near Witch, but I am planning on reading the archived duology, so the archived and the unbound. Still sad we got robbed of this being a trilogy. Am I still clinging on to hope that we'll get a 3rd book? Bestie, I've been clinging on to hope since 2014 when the Unbound came out. I won't be able to die till we get that damn 3rd book. The archived is what started my love for V.E. Schwab. Not to be that person, but I was with V.E. Schwab before they became a household name. I'm an OG, okay? The archived duology is about the Library of the Dead. The dead are called histories, and the library itself is called the archived. Sometimes the histories slip, and it's the keeper's job to keep the histories nestled and safe in the archived. This series has such a special place in my heart, so I'm really looking forward to reuniting with these characters and also just like tucking into this super comforting story. I'm also going to be rereading Vicious. I read this back when it came out in 2013, and I still have not stopped thinking about it. It's not one of those situations where I think about it daily, but it crosses my mind more times than I can tell you. It's definitely one of those books that's left a mark on me, and I can't wait to sink back into this one. In it, we are following Victor and Eli, who are college roommates.
And they were roommates.
Oh my
God, they were roommates.
Together they began experimenting in near-death experiences and how they can open up the door to extraordinary abilities. It's a classic tale of what ends up happening when someone ends up with too much power. It's a story full of revenge of these two characters who are truthfully both in the wrong, but both are unhinged and both are going at each other, and it's just such a fascinating story. I love the complexities of it, and I can't wait to sink back into this one. I'm really interested to see how I feel about it now that it's been like over 10 years since I've read it, which is mind-boggling to think about. Mind-boggling. My mind boggled. Next, I'll be reading this book called Key Lime Sky. By the time you're watching this video, I've probably already read this book. I'm reading this for a vlog where I try to find underrated books. It's a series that I started a long time ago on my channel, and I decided to bring it back. In this book, we are following Denver, who is a pie reviewer, actually. He reviews pies on his blog, but after an encounter with a UFO, he has a bit of a rebrand and is focused in on figuring out the mystery behind these UFOs that have started showing up. I'm really hoping that this book kind of leans into like the comedy of it all, because it sounds really humorous, but I fear that it might end up taking itself too seriously, which maybe that will be fine. And maybe I need to like rework my mind in going into this book, but I'm sort of expecting like a silly, goofy time, and I don't know that that's what it's going to serve me. I feel like with a concept like this, you need to be a little bit more silly, goofy, and not so serious, schmerious. I'm also planning on doing a reread of the Hunger Games series. I think it was my channel member Reese that was talking about the fact that they were rereading these, and consider me influenced, because now I'm like, I want to reread these before the release of Sunrise on the Reaping. Like, I must reread them. It's gotta happen. So consider me influenced. I think I might do like a fun little reading vlog as I reread these as well, because I think it could be fun to just like document my thoughts as I reread these books. It's been a second since I've read them. I have reread the original trilogy before, and I really enjoyed that reread, but I've never reread The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes because, to be frank, I hated it when I first read it. I did like the movie adaptation, but I felt no good feelings about the book whatsoever. We'll see how my reread goes. I'll let you know. This last section of my March TBR is very mystery focused. I've been in a very big mystery mood. I've been watching this anime called Case Closed, which is a forever long anime. I'm like, will I ever reach the end of this watch? Probably not. Then I also picked back up watching Murder, She Wrote, which I've been really enjoying. And I've also been gaining traction in my collection of the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew books. So I'm just hungry for some mystery reads. The first two are going to be for a specific reading vlog for my main channel. So the first one we've got here is The Examiner. It says 6 students, 1 murder. Can you solve the crime? This is about a group of students in an art master's program that goes dangerously awry. I didn't want to read too much into the description because I feel like sometimes with mystery books, like you're given so much information in the description that it kind of ruins it for you. The other thing that I know about this book is the formatting of it, which is what kind of drew me into it. It's essentially told in text messages, emails, and I think essays as well. So I just love when books have interesting formats like this, because sometimes it can be done really well, and then sometimes it just feels gimmicky and it feels like there was no real reason to use that format. I think it'll work with this book, but I'll be interested to see how I end up feeling about it by the end of it. But I feel like it makes sense because of the situation, because they're students, and so like having essays and text messages and emails, like that all makes sense to me. But I'll be interested to see how it affects the overall mystery aspect. The next book that I have is The Woman in a Library. This book takes place in a library. No way! A book called The Woman in a Library taking place in a library? That's crazy. But basically we are following these 4 people who have all been working at the same table in this reading room in the library, and the silence is broken by this woman screaming. And just like that, a library patron has been murdered. The 4 strangers immediately bond over what's happened to them. It's kind of one of those situations where they're trauma bonded. Like they just went through a really intense situation and they are now all connecting over it. But one of them is hiding a secret. I picked this book up because it's told in a unique way. I've heard that it's told in a unique way. And so I think I'm going to not say what that is, just in case that's like the big thing that the character is hiding, because I feel like it could be, but I'm not going to go any further than that. But I'm excited to read this one. It sounds really interesting. Love the library, love a library setting, so looking forward to this one. Finally, I want you guys to help me with this last section. I only have 2 books currently that I'm going to be reading for the specific video that I want to do. I'm doing a video where I'm reading cozy mysteries set in fantasy worlds. I've only found 2 that I'm really interested in reading. First one one is Keeper of Enchanted Rooms. This one is on hold for me at the library. I need to do a library drive-by. And then Drinks and Sinkholes from the Weary Dragon Inn series. If you guys know of any cozy mystery books that are set in a fantasy world, drop some recommendations for me down below in the comments. I'm like so in the mood for that specifically, and I'm planning on doing like a little reading vlog situation for that as well. So if you have any book recommendations for me with that specific setting and that specific story, with a cozy mystery specifically set in a fantasy world, drop those recs for me down below in the comments. That is my March TBR. I hope you enjoyed hearing me ramble about these books and the books that I'm excited about reading. Let me know in the comments what you guys are planning on reading, and hopefully I will see you guys soon on this channel. I don't have an official outro, so this is me saying goodbye. Mwah. Okay, bye.